Hello, everyone. Our story today starts with our hero experiencing a dream, one that he had repeatedly dreamed over and over again every night for the last 5 years. Starting from 100 years ago, terrifying beasts started to appear from a dimensional rift invading the human world and threatening the existence of humanity. That dimensional rift also triggered the awakening of a few talented individuals to reveal their own powers. These individuals presented humanity's last line of defense against the beast invaders. The dream was always about the night his parents died in another beast-tide attack upon the city. That night the sky turned a crimson red when a colossal dimensional beast appeared, its savagery evident as it destroyed buildings and structures in its path. People fled in terror, their faces etched in fear. Only one young man named Yetian defied the crowd, walking straight towards the beast. Every citizen who saw the beast was overcome with fear, while some were stunned in disbelief at the very sight of the beast. Ye Tian, at that moment, stared blankly at the beast. His eyes saw the devastation of the buildings that were his home. Suddenly, small tendrils of energy illuminated his face. Gradually, the energy spread across his arms. Ye Tian was oblivious to what was happening. The energy enveloped his entire body. He let out a scream of pain. His body was lifted by an unknown force. The energy surrounding him radiated into a blinding light bubble. The energy then compressed into a crimson sphere that slowly approached Ye Tian and permeated his body. Ye Tian awoke with a start. It was always like this in his dreams. Lying in bed, Ye Tian could not help but ponder. I must be awakening my talent since this time I awoke more violently than before. Ye Tian sat up and gazed out the window, trying to remember his last fading memory of that day when he searched through the rubble of his parents' remains. Suddenly, a knock came from outside his room. A female voice asked, "Brother, are you all right? Have you awakened your talent?" Ye Tian didn't respond, simply gazing at the stone in his hand. It was black with two circles at its center. Energy pulsated, and the words appeared. Talent weak tiered. He felt a pang of disappointment. Weak talent. Doesn't that mean I am a lost cause to become a martial artist? He tossed the stone on the floor. Ye Tian silently gazed out of the window. His sister, Ye Yu, opened the door cheerfully and entered. She was brimming with excitement and curiosity, eager to know about his talent. "Good morning, brother. How did your talent awakening go?" Ye Tian, despite his dejection, forced a smile. "It's great, of course." She didn't suspect a thing and inquired brightly. "Really?" he reassured her. "Don't worry. I'll definitely become the strongest martial artist." Ye Yu jumped for joy. "Yeah, I knew you were the best, big brother. Let's go. I made your favorite dish." "I'm just waiting to celebrate your test results," he mumbled in agreement. "Yeah, all right." As Ye Yu walked out, a pop-up window materialized in front of Ye Tian. He was taken aback by its appearance. Ye Yu couldn't see the window and inquired, "Why are you standing there daydreaming? Hurry up!" It displayed information about his sister. Human, Ye Yu, cultivation talent, second class, ice talent, novice, unawakened. His eyes widened involuntarily at the data. He instinctually reached out to the window. His hands passed through the window. The window reappeared. Human, Ye Tian, cultivation talent, weak. He was baffled. Before he could dwell on it, Ye Tian's wrist was grabbed by his sister. He yelped in surprise. She smiled. "Come on, the food is going to get cold." As she held his hand, a purple glow surrounded them. The pop-up window changed its display. Human, Ye Yu, cultivation talent second grade, copyable. Ice talent, novice copyable. He gazed in awe. Copyable? What does that mean? A question appeared on the screen. Would you like to copy the talent? Yes? No. He gradually realized. I can copy other people's talents. That means even a lost cause like me can redeem himself. He stared at his hands in disbelief. As they reached the kitchen, Ye Yu carried a dish towards Ye Tian. I made your favorite braised chicken dish, along with other dishes you like. Ye Tian thanked her. Thank you, sis. You are too kind. The table was filled with tasty dishes that Ye Tian liked. All were prepared by Ye Yu's skillful cooking skills. She picked up a dish and offered it to him. Eat up, there are plenty. As Ye Tian ate, his mind replayed the previous choices. Copy talent? Yes. No. Such a wonderful power. But he couldn't experiment with his sister, so he'd have to choose. No. Her basic talent was superior to his. Ice Frost talent was incredibly rare. Once it awakened, she could definitely defeat any opponent. He then thought of his two parents. Father, mother, do they know? They can finally rest in peace. Ye Tian and Ye Yu both had lost their parents and they had both been supporting each other ever since. After finishing his meal, Ye Tian stepped out. He walked down the busy streets, clad in a black cloak, adding an air of mystery to his figure. All right, let's test my talent. Let's try copying someone's talent first. He focused his mind, activating his talent. Circles of energy appeared, expanding outwards to scan the talents of those nearby. He gained a little more understanding of his talent. The effect of scanning others' talent only worked within a 3-meter range around himself. Quite a limitation. After scanning a few individuals, he only found low-tiered talents. This left him disappointed. At the very least, I would only copy mid-tiered talents. Now that his talent had awakened, even though it was low-tiered, I could go to an academy and see what it's like. If I copy a mid-tiered talent, my own talent might change, so I can't go enroll in an academy that requires a talent test. As Ye Tian continued to walk, he approached an academy that suited his needs. Here is one. This is it. The 5th Academy of the Seafront Base. He gazed at the academy gate, his heart brimming with joy. As Ye Tian entered the academy, he looked around. There is bound to be many students with mid-tiered talents. With my talents awakened and my ability to copy, I am sure I can be stronger than them in the future. With that, Ye Tian confidently enrolled in the 5th Academy. 10 days later, at the 5th Academy training field, Ye Tian sat in class focusing, while he listened to his teacher said, "To become a martial artist, you must first become a master apprentice. In order to become a master apprentice, you must learn the cultivation method. Now, learn the cultivation method with me," the teacher stated with an air of authority. "Remember, the key is to condense the vortex of energy into your dantian. That is how you succeed." "Yes, sir," the students replied in unison. The students sat, cross-legged, following the teacher's instructions. After a while, many students fell exhausted. One student even fainted. Ye Tian, however, remained focused, meditating deeply. His teacher noted Ye Tian and said encouragingly, "Ignore the others. Keep focusing because only those that can condense the vortex of energy into your dantian can raise your cultivation level." Ye Tian sweated profusely, his heart filled with doubt. Why can't I condense my energy into my dantian? Is it because my talent is so weak? After some time, the teacher said, "All right, that's it for today. You are the most useless batch of students that I have." He glanced at a particular student and praised him. "I hope you all follow Chen Dong's example and work harder." Ye Tian listened intently to what his teacher said. After class, Ye Tian walked out with his classmate, Zhang Bao. Ye Tian asked Zhang Bao, "Who is Chen Dong?" Zhang Bao answered that Chen Dong is an extraordinary student. He became a martial apprentice within a month. "Now, he is our teacher's direct apprentice," Ye Tian commented. "So his talent must be pretty good." Zhang Bao pulled out a piece of paper. He. Know what this is? Looking at the piece of paper, Ye Tian saw that it was Chen Dong's signature. Zhang Bao added that after Chen Dong becomes a famous martial artist, "I wonder how many credits can I sell this for?" He. This signature may cover my living expenses for months." Ye Tian simply sighed and said nothing further. At that moment, a crowd that gathered nearby was discussing that Chen Dong was coming here. "There he is, look, Chen Dong is here." A blonde-haired young man named Chen Dong smiled as he approached. Haha. "Hello, everyone." Everyone excitedly requested his signature and pulled out their autograph book. Seeing Chen Dong, Zhang Bao excitedly ran towards the crowd. "Chen Dong, Can you sign my autograph book too? Seeing the person in front of him, Ye Tian smiled. So, that is Chen Dong. Chen Dong remained gracious, thanking everyone. Thank you. Thank you for your support, a classmate praised. Chen Dong, I admire you a lot. A small pop-up window appeared. Chen Dong, human, cultivation talent, mid-tier. Ye Tian smiled. All right, I'll go say hello. Chen Dong happily told everyone. All right, please, quiet down. I am here to motivate everyone. I won't be signing any signatures, as I will be laughed at by the seniors, Ye Tian then asked. Can I shake your hand? Zhang Bao replied. Yes, can I also shake your hand in place of signatures? Chen Dong agreed. Okay, keep up your good work. All the students lined up respectfully. They all got to shake hands with encouragement from Chen Dong. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Thank you, senior. When it came to Ye Tian's turn, Ye Tian stared intently at Chen Dong's outstretched hand. A mysterious smile played on his lips. He quickly reached out. As their hands clasped, a crimson light engulfed them both. Chen Dong, oblivious to the situation, encouraged Ye Tian. Keep it up. Thank you, Ye Tian replied. After a while, Chen Dong left. The remaining students waved farewell. Goodbye, Chen Dong. Goodbye. For Ye Tian, the handshake was a significant development. This is perfect. A little later, it began to rain. Ye Tian found himself in a forest. Looking at the pop-up window, the mid-tier talent level is successfully copied. Do you want to fuse? Yes, no. Sitting in a dark cave, Ye Tian couldn't help to wonder. I wonder if fusing is going to be advantageous or disadvantageous. He couldn't help but recall the scene in his dreams. The moment when he received the surge of energy that coursed through his body. The moment his body was lifted up into the air, he was deep in thought. What did it mean? Whatever. I don't care, I need to be stronger. So, Ye Tian chose, yes. Fuse. Ye Tian sat cross-legged and meditated seriously. Energy surrounded him. It later brought on a wave of excruciating pain. Blood vessels began to bulge. His dantian grew to accept the vortex of energy. Ye Tian screamed in agony. He collapsed. His face was buried in the dirt. What is happening? Fusing talent? Is it this painful? The dark sky was now filled with thunder and lightning. As the pain subsided, he looked outside the cave, panting heavily. The pop-up window has been updated. Ye Tian, human, cultivation talent, mid-tier. Ye Tian smiled. Changing my talent. A complete transformation. Even with this amount of pain, I can endure it so I can fuse more talents in the future. Another notification appeared on the pop-up window. It stated, Talent copy cooldown. Time left 30 days. Ye Tian gazed in awe, surprised. So he can copy numerous talents again in the future every 30 days. This talent was truly OP. His eyes gleamed with excitement. Then he remembered his training to cultivate his energy. He focused his energy into his dantian, and he successfully gathered a vortex of energy. His eyes stared in astonishment. After gaining the mid-tier talent, I can now easily cultivate my energy. As Ye Tian walked out of the cave, he was confident that not only would he become a martial artist, but I could grow to become an elite martial artist or a grand martial artist. A streak of lightning illuminated the sky. Ye Tian walked outside, his eyes gleaming with ambition. He smiled confidently. A month later, a moonlight night. The full moon was shining brightly. A ferocious beast appeared. It had razor-sharp fangs and eyes that radiated murderous intent. On the street, a father and daughter were happily chatting. Dad, what's for dinner tonight? What do you want to eat? I want beef noodle soup, the girl replied. All right, Dad agreed. Ye Tian, holding a lantern, walked past the father and daughter, thinking, even though I became a martial arts apprentice, I still have a long way to go to become a true martial artist. Chen Dong is receiving private instructions from my teacher, so he must be progressing faster than me. The father, unaware of the impending danger, said, I will cook some for you when we get home. Suddenly, blood splattered. Ye Tian's lantern clattered to the ground. The ferocious beast had arrived. It clamped its massive jaws on the father's back. Ye Tian sensed something behind him. When he turned around, the man's blood was spattered everywhere. The little girl stared in shock, then fearfully cried out, "Dad!" The ferocious beast, seeing her, bared its fangs with the intent of devouring her. Ye Tian froze for a moment, seeing the man was being attacked by the beast. People on the street turned their heads. Their faces were etched with horror. They couldn't speak, their mouths agape in terror. Ferocious. The ferocious beast is here. Run! A few people remained frozen in place, staring at the beast devouring the man in front of them. The others, having realized the situation, shouted warnings. The ferocious beast is killing people! Ye Tian's eyes widened as he gazed at the scene. His face was devoid of emotion. A massive, shadowy beast loomed on the street, devouring on something. The little girl remained motionless beside it, not running. Continuing its train of thought, the ferocious beast revealed bright red eyes, sharp fangs, and a frightening expression. It turned. A sudden silence descended. The ferocious beast roared madly, leaping forward to the girl. Ye Tian immediately darted forward, scooping up the little girl and jumped to the side. He composed himself. The beast's speed is too fast. I can't escape. Just as he thought he was going to die, a figure descended from the sky. A man holding a sword, clothed in red robes, witnessed this scene and prepared to engage. The muscular man shielded Ye Tian, who was holding the little girl. He struck the ferocious beast with his sword. The road cracked, creating a large fissure. However, the beast dodged aside and snarled. A white light, silent and composed of circles, shot towards the beast. The beast quickly retreated as it kicked large stones in all directions. The ferocious beast, its entire body radiated a crimson aura of killing intent, bared its fangs in fury. Its eyes glowed a menacing red. The man in red robes also glared at the ferocious beast. His eyes burned with a crimson killing intent. He pointed his sword at the beast. His entire body emanates a powerful aura. I apologize. I am late, he said. His expression shifted and his brows furrowed. He smiled, but his eyes still radiated a deadly aura as he faced the ferocious beast. Ye Tian put the little girl down and asked, "Who are you?" The man replied, "Everybody calls me Captain Windwolf." Captain Windwolf smiled and turned to Ye Tian. "Leave the Moonlight Silver Wolf to me. You just protect the child." Ye Tian immediately agreed. The little girl clung to his leg, frightened. Captain Windwolf gathered all his strength and charged forward, his sword raised. He shouted, "Get over here, beast!" A silver light flashed past him. Captain Windwolf leaped, striking 2 diagonal blows at the ferocious Moonlight Silver Wolf. Ye Tian covered the little girl's eyes with his hands, watching intently. He whispered softly, "Don't look." Captain Windwolf gritted his teeth. His sword sliced through the ferocious beast. He couldn't help but admire it. "It is strong," he said. He grasped the hilt of his sword with both hands, then let out a war cry as he swung the sword and struck the beast squarely, sending the beast flying. He didn't pause for a moment. He swiftly darted towards the falling beast. He swung his sword repeatedly, but the beast managed to dodge every blow. He knew it would. As expected of the Moonlight Silver Wolf, its speed was incredible. He focused on the beast, but don't forget, I have teammates. As soon as he finished speaking, 3 young men appeared from nowhere, each wielding a sword, rushing to his aid. The ferocious beast, meanwhile, was darting around Captain Windwolf, suddenly letting out a roar. The 3 swordsmen thrust their blades into the pavement, causing a massive explosion of dirt and rocks. Realizing it couldn't win alone, the Moonlight Silver Wolf fled. One of the 3 swordsmen shouted, "Watch out, sir!" The ferocious beast, having lost control, charged towards Captain Windwolf. Captain Windwolf clutched his sword with both hands and braced himself. Just in time. He clashed with the beast, holding it in place. Taking advantage of the opportunity, all 3 of the swordsmen charged in with their swords. A sword erupted with the spray of blood. The entire team lunged at the beast, blood spattering everywhere. One of them withdrew his sword and asked, "Is it dead?" The beast's legs suddenly twitched. Captain Windwolf immediately noticed the beast and became enraged. The beast roared with rage and glowed crimson red. The four warriors, sensing the danger, scattered. The beast was about to unleash its bloodline power. "Everyone be careful." Captain Windwolf retreated towards Ye Tian and the little girl in an attempt to shield them again. His teammates worriedly asked, "Sir, are you all right?" "I'm fine," Captain Windwolf replied. The Moonlight Silver Wolf, now red and enraged, fled. "It's running." Ye Tian anxiously watched in the direction of the fleeing beast. He was reassured by a brief calm response. "Don't worry, it is not going anywhere." A trail of red energy stretched across the night sky. Under the bright full moon, a dark figure stood on the other side of a building, radiating a pink aura of power. A girl with long black hair, clad in armor, raised her bow. Her face radiated confidence. "I've been waiting for you." She released the arrow, aiming directly at the beast from afar. The Moonlight Silver Wolf, sensing the danger, turned roaring at the arrow. Its face is angry, its killing intent clearly still evident, its eyes glaring crimson red. The arrow flew, striking the beast squarely in the neck. Blood splattered everywhere. The beast crashed down onto the ground in front of Captain Windwolf, Ye Tian, and the little girl, who was clinging to him. Captain Windwolf smiled, triumphantly, looking at the dying beast. "Haha, you fought us, but you are still too young." His four teammates approached him and the beast lying on the ground. They excitedly praised each other. "That was a well-coordinated attack," the girl replied. "Haha, naturally, without all of you wounding the beast, it wouldn't have escaped my way." Ye Tian studied the beast and gasped at the pop-up window. This was the status of the beast. Ferocious beast. Moonlight Silver Wolf. Blood talent, second tier. Speed, novice. He couldn't help but wonder. This is the beast talent. Its speed is amazing. The little girl beside him looked ahead anxiously. The Moonlight Silver Wolf's paws twitched. Ye Tian's eyes widened in uncertainty. The four warriors relaxed, chatting among each other, and didn't notice the beast slowly getting up. That beast's speed was really tricky. "I am glad we got it. Let's go for a drink to celebrate." Captain Windwolf suddenly noticed and quickly gave a warning. "Hey, everyone be careful." The others turned around and yelled, "It's still alive! Scatter!" Captain Windwolf and the four warriors quickly moved away. The Moonlight Silver Wolf continued to slowly stand up and roared, regaining its ferocity. The entire team was taken aback. That beast is terrifying. I didn't imagine how it is still alive. "Sir, what do we do now?" Captain Windwolf, standing in front of his team, confidently said, "Don't worry, it's very weak now. Leave it to me." Captain Windwolf turned to Ye Tian and warned, "We can't stay here long. You need to leave and protect the girl. Don't stand there anymore." Ye Tian completely ignored the warning, a sly smile forming on his face. "This is my chance." Ye Tian rushed past Captain Windwolf. Captain Windwolf, surprised, could only gasp. "What?" Ye Tian clenched his fist. A glowing aura formed around both his fists, forming concentric circles. Gathering all his energy, Ye Tian punched the Moonlight Silver Wolf squarely on its head. A pop-up window is displayed. Successful talent copy from the ferocious beast. Ye Tian then somersaulted on top of the beast. He mounted the beast and quickly landed a few more punches. Each strike triggered the pop-up window. Successful talent copy from the ferocious beast. The Moonlight Silver Wolf cried in pain. Ye Tian didn't stop, not noticing all the blood that gushed out from the beast. Ye Tian continued to pummel the beast with blood-soaked fists. Captain Windwolf rushed towards Ye Tian, yelling, "Enough! It's dead!" Ye Tian just realized that he had successfully copied the Moonlight Silver Wolf's talent as he raised his blood-soaked fist. Captain Windwolf instructed his team, "All right, let's clean up the battlefield. Take the man's body and the beast's corpse." Captain Windwolf pointed to the girl teammate, "And you, take care of the little girl." Ye Tian stood to the side as the three male teammates took the beast and the man's remains, and the girl took the little girl. All replied, "Yes, sir." Captain Windwolf, before leaving, placed his sword on his shoulder and said to Ye Tian, "Farewell, young man. When you become a martial artist, join my team, the Captain Windwolf team." Ye Tian, covered in blood, his eyes lit up and could only nod in agreement. Yes. Peace returned to the neighborhood. Ye Tian quickly found a public bathroom before returning to his home. He washed the blood from himself. He didn't want to frighten his sister, Ye Yu, since he just finished his first beast battle. It was early dawn as Ye Tian quietly entered his home. He hoped that he didn't wake his sister. As he looked around from the kitchen and then stopped at the sofa, where he saw his sister still asleep. Deep in her dream, she called out to his brother and smiled. "Brother." Ye Tian's heart warmed as he smiled and noticed the kitchen table still had food that his sister prepared for him last night. Today was the first time he faced a fierce beast in battle. Ye Tian took out a blanket and softly draped the blanket over his sister as she unconsciously smiled. Ye Tian reflected, fighting beasts is 100 times scarier than what he had heard. So he must grow stronger as a martial artist in order to protect his sister. Ye Tian quietly entered his room. He picked up a piece of cloth and sat on his bed. He wondered if he could actually integrate a fierce beast's talent into a human body. He silently opened the pop-up window, still displaying the beast's talent. He was worried that it might hurt more and that he could die. However, he must grow stronger and faster in order to protect those that are important to him. He'll just have to endure it. Ye Tian steeled his resolve and pushed the cloth into his mouth. Speed talent. Begin fusing. Ye Tian immediately felt the first wave of excruciating pain as he bit down onto the cloth, veins bulging on his neck. He fell off the bed, writhing in agony. His hand scratched profusely on the floor. "It hurts. My bones feel like it's cracking piece by piece." Ye Tian then felt the second wave more painful than the first. The pain continued radiating to his feet. He looked down at his feet at it bent at an odd angle. His body convulsed, and the cloth dropped out of his mouth as he screamed in pain. "It's broken. Blood spattered. Did my talent copy fail?" Suddenly, Ye Tian finally felt his consciousness crumbling around him, the world turning dark. In his last thoughts, he could only scream, "No!" And this thoughts to his sister, Ye Yu, and how he might have died and left his sister alone. Morning came. Ye Tian awoke to the sunlight streaming into his room. He was lying in the middle of his bedroom. He sat up startled, gasping for air. He wondered what had happened last night as he fell unconscious. He looked at his hands. Then, he looked at his legs and feet. He looked normal with no blood. He stood up, jumped, and kicked his feet. Whoosh. He felt lighter and saw red trails of aura light from his kick, similar to the moonlight silver wolf's leg last night. Ye Tian then pulled up his status window. Human. Cultivation talent. Mid-tier. Speed talent. Novice. The talent copying was a success. On a bright sunny day at the 5th Academy grounds in a small forest, you can see a grove interspersed with buildings in between, with a swimming pool in the middle. A streak of red lightning can be seen across the forest. Ye Tian was running with red trails of lightning flashing behind him. In a flash of lightning, only the red lightning trails can be seen within the forest. Ye Tian, using his speed talent, sprinted and jumped up high into the air onto a ledge on the mountainside. He was delighted with his speed and agility, as he was able to run like lightning as he jumped high, floating in the air like a superperson. His face beamed as he prepared to land. He combed his hair, revealing a handsome face as he chuckled in delight. Then, Ye Tian jumped off the mountainside to the ground below. His landing created a small crater as he softened his impact with his energy burst. Dust obscures everything. Ye Tian stood alone in the forest, radiating powerful energy. He saw a leaf fall caused by his energy and ran towards it. He used his speed again to rush forward, trying to catch the leaf. The leaf continued to fall. His hand reached out as the leaf was within his grasp. Ye Tian caught the leaf, stopping his body on a dime. The Moonlight Silver Wolf. Speed talent is truly terrifying, Ye Tian said confidently. Ye Tian then leaped onto a large flat rock, preparing to meditate in training his cultivation. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. His energy enveloped him as he sat focusing his into his dantian. Ye Tian contemplated in reflection of his current status. Right now, my speed is comparable to mid-level martial artist. However, my overall power is still far behind. If I can increase my cultivation speed, it would be great. Ye Tian mused in deep reflection on what his plans for his immediate future gains. That is all for today. If you want to see more in the future, please support my channel by subscribing, liking, and commenting on this video. I want to thank you in advance. I truly appreciate it.